Health and otolaryngology services to DeWitt County with Gibson Area Hospital and Dr. Jonathan Glickstein. Your ENT health is important, and Dr. Glickstein is an experienced otolaryngologist specializing in ear, nose, and throat conditions and head and neck surgery, dedicated to excellence in patient care for the best ENT services. Now seeing patients at the Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton. To book your appointment in Clinton, call 217-784-2808.
Hear Clinton Maroon live play-by-play this season on WHOW, the big 1520 daytime, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, and 106.5 in Bloomington Normal all the time. Plus, streamed at DeWittDailyNews.com on the WHOW mobile app. Plus, hear a best of Clinton sports broadcast Saturday mornings at 10. All brought to you by Love It Once More Thrift Store. Keith Wade, your country financial representative, and our exclusive sponsor for our Player of the Game, Serve Pro of Hyatt DeWitt Counties, the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction.
I'm Len Casper, the voice of the White Sox radio network. The Sox are right here on 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, WHOW.
Sponsored by Warner Hospital and Health Services, Liberty Village. Love It Once More Thrift Store, Keith Wade, your country financial representative, all in Clinton, and Serve Pro of Hyatt DeWitt Counties, the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction.
In this WHOW 75th anniversary feature, we hear about the changes that were coming to Clinton with Larry.
Back from I was here from 1983 full-time till the summer of 86. And in 1983, we had a couple major things happen in Clinton shortly after I got here. Not because I got here, but they just happened to happen during that time. One was our beautiful Walmart store opened that year. I bet you didn't know that we have a 25-year-old Walmart here. There's another big anniversary. Randy, there's another big anniversary idea.
That's in the works.
Okay, well, I should have known you guys would already be on that.
They had to put that up. They got some remodeling that's going on.
Yeah, the building has not changed much in those 25 years from what I can recall. And also, the McDonald's out in front of Walmart opened that year. And the reason why I bring that up, I got to do a live remote broadcast from their big grand opening on a Saturday from there on WHOW, and spent a couple of hours there, broadcasting on the air. And I had somebody stop by. Again, remember, I was new in the community, only been there for a few months. And I had a gentleman from the community stop by and stay there and hang out with me the entire time I did this remote broadcast and talk to me constantly when I was off the air. And that was Paul Huffman. And Paul, of course, is well known throughout the community, great supporter of kids and our sports teams. And he still tries to come out to a lot of the sporting events. And that's when I really got to know Paul for the first time, and he spent the afternoon with me at the McDonald's remote broadcast. So just another memory I had from my first year here in Clinton.
I've been introduced to Polly and have ran into Polly, and definitely
he's probably listening right now, Paul. And we had fun with that and plenty of other experience. Paul used to like to, I don't know if he still does it, but he loves to sing the national anthem when they play the national anthem before ball games.
That was Larry on this WHOW 75th anniversary feature.
News time is 9 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast. Brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. A Central Illinois community is in mourning a day after 2 local teens were killed while sledding at a Colorado ski resort. Paula Crane is the superintendent of the Prairie Central School District in Fairbury and confirmed Monday 2 students from Prairie Central High School died in a tragic accident. She declined to identify the students out of respect for their families. A local church offered counseling for any students or staff. The students were ages 18 and 17 and were on spring break. The young men were riding in tandem down the half pipe at Cooper Mountain Ski Resort in Summit County when they launched off a large snowbank at the bottom, according to the Summit County Sheriff's Office. Authorities say both teens then landed on hard ice and suffered blunt force trauma. They were pronounced dead at the scene. The teens' bodies have been turned over to the coroner's office, which will determine the exact cause and manner of death. Authorities did not release further details. Copper Mountain Ski Resort is about 75 miles west of Denver and a popular draw for skiers and riders with over 2,500 acres of high alpine terrain. A Clinton nonprofit is excited about the last leg of a recent facility update that should start in the next few weeks. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Rennie Kluver, executive director of the Clinton YMCA, told Regional Radio the facility anticipates the gymnasium floor to be replaced starting on Monday, April 3rd.
We're probably a big portion of it is out of the way with the new hoops that raise and lower to help us with our younger kid programming when we want to lower those. And they're just really solid hoops. They look good. It looks great. A great investment. We also added new padding around the gym where we needed padding. It looks good. It's updated. And really the fresh coat of paint that the gym got really brightened it up and makes it look bigger. So now we're just waiting for the actual new gym floor. And so it's scheduled April 3rd, which is a Monday, for them to come in and start demoing it, getting it up, get that floor out, and they have to do some leveling in some spots, and then they'll be able to lay the new floor. I've actually talked to the flooring people this morning and just can't get quite a definite answer. And I think it all pertains to how much that leveling they have to do. But as far as the gym size, I mean, it's not a huge gym. So it didn't seem like to them that it was a long process. If at the most, we're hoping that just until we're ready to, after they do all the coats that they have to, put the finish on it and the paint the lines, we're hoping 2 weeks at the most that the gym won't be available to do something on it.
According to Kluver, all the improvements are going to bring a new dynamic of possibilities to the Y programming. He envisions a reduced burden of asking the school district for its facilities and increasing adult opportunities.
We're excited. We just got the new volleyball system in last week. It was delivered Friday. And so it's sitting there ready to be put to use. We got to put new sleeves in once they do the floor, and we'll be able to host some adult volleyball leagues. We'll be able to do some youth programming with volleyball that we haven't been able to do. And what's really, I mentioned this too, I keep forgetting that the basketball hoops that are there, they extend out almost 6 feet off the wall. These hoops, all you got to do is pull a pin and they will lay flat against the wall. So when we're wanting to do volleyball, that gives you a lot more room behind you on both sides to serve, to keep volleys going. And so it's going to be a great thing for the new programming, just allowing us to provide more programming in areas that we haven't been able to do. And maybe not just more, but better. The quality will be better. The facility, we're trying to update everything that we can to make it better for the community that uses it. And that's, that's one of our main missions. And that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Kluver notes the cost has been pretty reasonable on the project, despite continued reports of increasing costs of supplies and materials in other sectors.
Everything that you hear in the news and see the cost of things, that, gosh, it's be a lot higher. But we've come to find that it was actually the cost of the floor was lower than what we anticipated. I wish I could give you a great answer. And once I meet with the flooring people when they come next month, I'm going to ask them if this is something that, is this the type of wood they're putting down? Is it something that's readily available? Is it something that they've had in their warehouse? What was the reason for? And really for me, this is the first gym floor that I've been a part of that we've had to redo. But just when we found out what it was going to cost to repair maybe a quarter of the gym and that cost versus the cost of replacing everything, it was a no-brainer. Like, gosh, how can it? We were anticipating a lot more to do the whole gym versus just doing a quarter of it.
Kluver reminds this project was made possible thanks to grant dollars DeWitt County made available through the American Rescue Plan Act funds.
Yeah, well, what really helped us when we knew we needed to do it, and everything kind of fell into place with the grant from the county helping us with updating facility needs. And so this was a facility need. And then in that, once we started to put some ideas on what we wanted to use that money for, then we had water damage on the gym floor and had that looked at and found out the cost to repair that, and that it was better feasible for us to get a new floor. It had been a long time, and that's the original floor there from the mid 70s. A lot of board members remember being kids and playing on that gym floor. They're like, yeah, it's probably time to update, especially if we have water damage. And so that kind of took us where we were at. Then we just said, we feel like in order to just do the floor, we needed to update the hoops so that we could do more programming and not rely on the school district with their gym space. And I mean, they're always getting asked to use gym space, and we're one of the top priorities, and we really love that about the school district. And so we're trying to be able to, it's an option for us to be able to host some things that we want to do on our time and regulate it. So it's nice.
Once the gym project wraps up, the YMCA Strategic Planning Committee will begin to look at the rest of the facility and where they could improve next. Kluver notes they could target making the flooring across the main level of the facility more uniform. He says they could also use updated cardio equipment in the wellness center. He also says they are targeting the first week of April for installation of the gym floor because there will be Y-Zone Extreme next week as it is spring break in the school district, so students will be in the Y in the gym at that time. The Lincoln Speedway is requesting an agreement for the extension of the racing curfew during the racing season, and new language should clean things up. That's according to Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch, who anticipates the approval of the agreement this week that gives the Lincoln Speedway a 30-minute extension of 4 races throughout the racing season, depending on the day of the week.
We have to be mindful of the track because it does sit in Lincoln, right up next to a residential area, and a track makes noise. So we've worked with that group for past several years. Very good to work with. They're very mindful of the things that we have to be mindful about ourselves. But this year, we're going to try something a little different, and we asked them to give us 3 or 4 different races that they'd like an extension on. And the council is going to vote on it next week, but it sounds like there's a pretty good chance that they'll give them a 30-minute extension for those 4 dates. Typically, they have to be over by 10:30 at night. If it is on a weekend, they got to get done earlier during the week because people got to go to work and people got to go to school. But, we've allowed them a 90-minute window throughout the entire season. So if they go over 5 minutes of their schedule this time, they've got 85 minutes left for the remainder of the season. I think this approach we're going to do here is a little cleaner, in my opinion, and I hope it helps.
The mayor indicates Lincoln Speedway is a great partner to the community that brings in some big-time race names and offers a great economic boom to the community.
Those who know Lincoln know that we have a speedway out at our fairgrounds here, and the Speedway, they bring in a lot of people to the community. So from an economic development standpoint, it's phenomenal. You get people like Kenny Wallace coming in, and they bring a pretty big crowd. I think one of the purses for one of the races this year is like $23,000, which is huge. And so we're huge supporters of that.
Like many issues, the mayor notes there are residents in Lincoln, and more specifically those that live near the Speedway, that understand the noise is part of the venue, and those that are opposed to it altogether. He notes this was a discussion brought up by council members that enjoyed the events of the Speedway. News time is 19 minutes after the hour here on this Tuesday morning. We've got plenty more coming your way on the WHOW Morning Show.
If you think a new or used car is in your future, the time is now to call the Baum Chevrolet Buick sales team here in Clinton or Farmer City. This is Scott Baum. With a professional sales consultant in your corner, the vehicle search is easy. Meet with our sales team to go over your wants and needs. We'll start the search and do all the legwork for you. With so many models and options to choose from, we can help you get the information you need. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News time is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Tuesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. March has turned colder in Illinois. March has turned colder in Illinois, and things aren't going to radically change in the next few weeks. Meteorologist Eric Snodgrass says overall, the extended forecast is for chilly weather to continue.
all of the very cold air that had been throughout much of Russia and Siberia, it was just displaced across the North Pole and set up over the United States. And that's where it currently sits because Europe is mild, Russia's very mild, and as a result, cold air is on our side of the planet. It looks like it'll be here for a little while. So yeah, we're going to be sitting on our hands just waiting for this pattern to break. And unfortunately, March is not looking to be like one of those really kind marches.
Snodgrass adds the forecast is indicating there won't be much opportunity for early field work for farmers. The Illinois Department of Public Health is reporting an increase in serious cases of strep throat in children. It's the group A strep cases that are rising, leaving 5 Illinois children dead due to strep-related complications so far this year. The state's chief medical officer, Dr. Artie Barnes, says symptoms can come on fast and include a very sore throat and a fever. She recommends getting your child a rapid strep test so they can start antibiotics if necessary.
Now, it's important to make sure that the children don't get reinfected from strep after they're done with a course of antibiotics. And so you want to make sure you discard their toothbrushes, the toys that they put in their mouths. Often you could just wipe them down, clean them, and disinfect them.
The trouble starts when kids do not respond to the medication and develop other symptoms.
Like they start developing a cough, or start talking about their belly hurting. They start feeling like they're weak and don't have energy. That's the time you want to make sure they get medical attention to the point that you can check and make sure the strep is not in their blood at that point.
Dr. Barnes notes if your child doesn't seem to be getting better and is complaining about a cough, stomach ache, weakness, or other new symptoms, it's a good idea to check with their doctor to make sure the infection has not reached their bloodstream. The Illinois Department of Agriculture continues to promote the Farm Family Resource Initiative. Illinois Department of Agriculture Director Jerry Costello says it's all about making sure mental health services are available to farmers.
We found a way with the federal government to access $500,000 for the Farm Family Resource Initiative. So we had the state monies appropriated by the legislature, but last year an extra $500,000 to make sure that farmers have the resources for mental health help, everything from telemedicine to a text hotline, an email form, and then still the call-in hotline, which is 833-FARM-SOS, which is for farmers. It's for their spouses, for their children, for anybody that works on a farm. If you are experiencing mental health issues, or God forbid, you're possibly in a suicidal situation, please, please, please reach out to 833-FARM-SOS. It is 100% confidential.
The Farm Family Resource Initiative is administered through the SI School of Medicine. And again, the Farm Family Resource Helpline is 833-FARM-SOS. Legislation is pending in the Illinois House that would make it illegal to drive with your pet in your lap. The concern is that pets can be a distraction, especially if they're behind the wheel with you. The bill from Representative Jawahari Omar Williams of Chicago makes it against the law for your pooch or cat to ride in your lap.
The penalty for this petty offense would be a fine of $50. AAA survey has shown that 31% of drivers with pets have admitted to being distracted by their pets while driving. 20% of drivers admitted to driving with their pets on their laps have been in accidents.
He notes that current state distracted driving laws don't address the problem.
It's a new law that will allow police officers to pull you over for having, if they see that you're driving with a dog and an animal in your lap, whatever the animal may be.
The bill unanimously passed the House committee and now awaits a vote on the House floor. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Rowell is urging lawmakers to pass the Work Without Fear Act. The bill aims to protect workers who come forward about problems on the job. Attorney General Rowell says fear of retaliation is the number one reason employees don't report abuse or poor working conditions, noting this is especially true of migrant workers.
For immigrants, threats of deportation or repealing immigration status can influence the worker's willingness to voice concerns about their workplace, which hurts all workers.
The bill is designed to further protect employees.
This legislation would prohibit employers from engaging in retaliatory conduct, including unfair immigration-related practices against a worker for exercising their workplace rights.
The bill has passed a House committee and now awaits a vote on the House floor. The latest reports show low beef cattle numbers, but how low can they go? Gary Crawford may have an answer. Although it's been around for a while, the investigator with the Better Business Bureau reminds you can take a look at what scams are being reported in your neighborhood or anywhere else in North America just by going to their website. The agency has a tool called Scam Tracker, which maps out the various reports of scammers in near real time. BBB investigator Don O'Brien says one of the riskiest scams being reported is the employment scam, with the average loss in 2022 coming in at about $1,500.
These folks, will think that they've been hired for a job. More than likely, they've been work from home job. They're going to be sent a check by the business to say, hey, buy your supplies with this, but then send us the money back, the extra, because they may send them a check for $3,500 when, they may only need $500 for supplies. And of course, that check is no good.
Employment scams top the list, though. He says you can search scams by name or type, spot trends, or track scams using demographic data. Find the Scam Tracker at bbb.org/scam tracker. News time is 29 minutes after the hour. Coverage of news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. And we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. It was a beautiful day for softball and baseball in Central Illinois. Plenty of games were played. Recaps of those coming your way next.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Former President Donald Trump could soon face criminal charges in New York's hush money payment investigation. Prosecutors have not said when their work might conclude or when charges could come. The former president had said that it could come as early as today, but now a number of media reports are saying that an arrest would not happen today, even though it could come later this week. President Biden has issued the first veto of his administration. With a stroke of his pen, the president rejected a Republican measure that bans environmental or social considerations in investments by the government when making decisions for Americans' 401k retirement plans. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said the veto makes clear Mr. Biden wants to use taxpayers' retirement savings to, in his words, fund his far-left political causes. On Wall Street, Dow futures up by 282 points. This is SRN News.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. In a game heard on WEZC and at DeWittDailyNews.com, Monticello sent 13 batters to the plate and scored 7 runs in the 4th inning to get by Argenta Oriena 13-6 in non-conference high school girls softball action Monday at Monticello High School. With the score tied at 2 in the bottom of the 4th, the rally started with the bottom of the Lady Sages lineup reaching base. Emma Storger led off the frame with a walk. Katie Swartz singled through the right side of the infield. Isabella Beery was hit by a pitch to load the bases, and Avery Schweitzer singled in 2 runs from the 9th spot in the lineup to put Monticello up 4-2. Everything the rest of the inning was station to station, but 5 runs later, Monticello led 9-2 with RBIs from Marissa Miller, Reese Patton, and Lindsay Treebaum. Miller was the Serve Pro of Piatt-DeWitt County Player of the Game, finishing 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles, 4 runs scored, a stolen base, and a run batted in. She reached base 4 times with a pair of walks. In addition to her 2 doubles, Patton finished 3 for 5 for Monticello. Beery was 2 for 3 with a pair of runs, and Schweitzer was 2 for 4 with a pair of runs for the Lady Sages. Freshman Cassidy Stoffel picked up the win in circle for Monticello. She also went 2 for 5 with a pair of RBIs at the plate. The Lady Bombers appeared to go up 2-1 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Leadoff hitter Abby Matthews was batting with a runner on first base and nobody out and blasted a home run to left center field, but the runner in front of her missed home plate coming home, and Matthews touched home plate before the runner could go back to touch the base. The runner was called out, making Matthews' home run a solo shot to tie the score at 1. The Lady Bombers sent 9 batters to the plate in the top of the 7th inning, but could only scratch across 2 runs. Argenta Oriena was led by Matthews, who finished 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 runs scored. Gracie Manning was 1 for 4 with an RBI and scored twice. Abby Jackson reached base 3 times, drawing 2 walks and was hit by a pitch. She scored a run. Bryn Jones was 2 for 4 for the Lady Bombers with a run scored. Argenta Oriena drops to 0-2 in the early season, while Monticello improves to 1-1. Join us Wednesday, April 12th for our next Lady Sages broadcast on WEZC and DeWittDailyNews.com when they travel to Clinton for a non-conference road matchup at 4:30. The Olympia High School softball team beat Clinton 11-0 Monday afternoon at Clinton High School in non-conference high school girls softball action. The Spartans scored 4 runs in the 2nd and 3rd innings and added 3 more runs in the 5th to win a 10-run rule game in 5 innings. Clinton's Kylie Isaac and Heidi Humble recorded the only hits for the Lady Maroons. Clinton is 1-1 on the season. The Lady Maroons are at Leroy this afternoon. Jackson Fricke and Landon Smith went deep, leading Mount Pulaski to a 16-1 4-inning romp over Central A&M Monday in non-conference high school boys baseball action from Moweaqua. Fricke added a double and a pair of RBIs. Liam Smith finished 2 for 2 with a triple and 2 RBIs, while Chance Payne was 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles and 3 RBIs. Evan Cooper threw 3 shutout innings, striking out 8 and allowed 2 hits. Monday's game was the first of the season for the Hilltoppers, making them 1-0 on the young season. They travel to Nokomis today for a non-conference matchup. The Blue Ridge Lady Knights fell in non-conference high school girls softball action 8-0 Monday in Farmer City. Ellie Schleiper struck out 12 in 7 innings of work for Blue Ridge despite surrendering 8 runs. Alexis Wicke, Lily Summers, and Lily Anger recorded hits for the Lady Knights. Blue Ridge falls to 0-2 on the season. They host Decatur St. Teresa this afternoon. Zach LaVine had 26 points. DeMar DeRozan had 25 as the Chicago Bulls defeated Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers 109-105 in double overtime Monday night, snapping an 8-game winning streak for Philly. Nikola Vucevic had 21 points and 12 rebounds for the Bulls, who have won 3 games in a row and 5 of 6. Chicago is jostling for that final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Embiid had 37 points, 16 rebounds, and 3 blocks before fouling out with 3:54 left in the second overtime. It is the 10th straight 30-point game for Embiid. The teams meet again in the second game of a home-and-home on Wednesday in Chicago. Philly could have clinched a playoff spot with the win, but the Sixers struggled once Embiid left the court after a foul on LaVine. Tyrese Maxey hit an elbow jumper. Tobias Harris followed with a baseline jumper to put the Sixers up 105-101 with 2:36 left in the second overtime. But those were the last points for Philadelphia, with Embiid only able to watch from the bench. Maxey, who finished with 17 points, airballed a 3 and misfired on a drive. The 76ers were down by just 2 late, but Derrick Jones Jr. blocked James Harden's jumper, and Harris missed on a chance. Kobe White got the rebound and made 2 free throws with 6 seconds to play to put it away. The Sixers had a chance to win in regulation, but a Maxey 3 at the buzzer was off the mark. Chicago could have ended it in the first overtime, but a DeRozan 3 at the buzzer went off the heel of the rim. Bulls point guard Lonzo Ball had surgery for a cartilage transplant in his left knee. He is out indefinitely after a third surgery on the knee in a little more than a year. He hasn't played in more than a year, and Chicago ruled him out for the season last month. The 25-year-old and former number 2 overall pick averaged 13 points and 5.5 rebounds in 35 games with the Bulls in the 21-22 season. Alex Caruso also did not play. He left in the second quarter of a 113-99 win over the Miami Heat on Saturday night. The Green Bay Packers have re-signed safety Rudy Ford and cornerback Corey Ballentine. Both signings were announced Monday, though terms were not disclosed. Ford joined the Packers just before the start of the 2022 season and had a career-high 6 starts while playing in all 17 games. He had 40 tackles and a career-high 3 interceptions, along with a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Ford also had 4 special teams tackles. The 28-year-old Ford previously played for the Cardinals, the Eagles, and the Jaguars. Ballentine joined the Packers practice squad last September and was promoted to the active roster in November. He played in 8 games for the Packers and had 1 tackle on defense and 4 more on special teams. Ballentine, who turns 27 on April 13th, played for the Giants, the Jets, and the Lions. Alexander Gorgiev made 27 saves. Dennis Malgin had 2 goals and an assist, helping the surging Avalanche beat the Blackhawks 5-0 Monday night. Mikko Rantanen got his 47th goal and an assist as the Avs posted their 6th straight win. Logan O'Connor and Curtis McDermott also scored. Georgiev's 5th shutout of the season and 13th of his career lifted Colorado into a tie with idle Minnesota for second place in the Central Division with 88 points, 1 behind Dallas. The Avalanche have played 1 less game than the Wild and the Stars. Alex Stalock stopped 27 shots for Chicago, which has dropped 2 straight. The Blackhawks are at Washington on Thursday. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Cloudy skies today with a chance for scattered showers. High temperatures reach up to 51. Winds out of the south 10 to 20 miles per hour. Scattered rain showers again tonight. Lows dip down to about 40. Overcast skies. Chance for scattered rain showers tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 61. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 37.
Hello again, everyone. This is Stu Ellis, swinging open the farm gate for you once again today. And let's check on the weather. because we're having kind of a late spring here for a lot of folks who would like to be in the field. Cold temperatures have engulfed much of the nation where spring has already begun. I've had a lot of frost down in the southern states where a lot of buds are blooming. And single-digit temperatures prevailed over the northern Corn Belt with below zero readings overnight this last weekend. But cold temperature records were being broken across a lot of the middle half of the nation a couple days ago. All compliments of a